Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. I hope you guys enjoyed the extra minute of Kitty Cam. I have been fighting with something on this calculate, and my early calculations are, no, we're not messing with it. But we'll go ahead and do a video anyway. We'll do a couple videos and show you how to look at it. But anyway, today we're going to be looking at Calculate Linux, and I'm going to record two steps here. First, we're actually going to do a quick look at Calculate Linux, and then we're going to walk through the installation process. Why backwards? Simply because I have it installed. I want to show you what it looks like, and then we're going to run through the installer later on. So we're going to go ahead and jump on in here, and maybe what I'll do is I will address the questions that I have, and I will leave this virtual machine alone for about a week or so, and I'll see if anybody gives me any real information to see if I can get this thing working. If it's not, then I'm going to declare it crap and say, move on to the next one. But we'll see what happens here. Who is online right now? Welcome, everybody. Richard Addison is first, and he's pinned #1. Farron OS, how's it going there? Good luck with Surge and Co. for now. Good night. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Never heard of Calculate. Yeah, it is a Gentoo installer that is based on, it is a Russian Gentoo installer with an initial target towards corporations. So, frankly, it's, there's one major issue. If I can get it resolved, I'd say, hey, this looks like pretty cool. But as it stands right this second, if I can't get it launching out and working right in a VirtualBox, I'm not wasting my time on real hardware. I got other things to do. So we'll kind of walk through that and see what happens. Let's see. Yu-Gi-Oh! How's it going there, Ricky? Greetings. Should be interesting. Calculate a Gentoo-based OS. Enough said. Yes. Where are the frying pans? I don't think I have anything excessively heavy here. Frost Ranger of the Frozen Realm. Greetings, Richard Addison. Hello there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Meow. All right. Houston, do you copy? Yes. Copy. We're copying. EMPI, we're going to have a problem here. Yes, we are. Not enough momentum. Hello there. Snap, greetings, greetings. Nicholas, how's it going there? KO2610, your number is up. Okay. For those of you about to switch to Linux, I salute you. Yeah, for those of you about to switch to Linux, don't pick Gentoo. Don't pick Gentoo. All right. Let's see, Benjamin Eldridge, Louie's on. Louie, I will see if I can have a look at your website eventually here. I have a big project just landed on my desk, so time's a little limited. Just me, or does your avatar change? Yeah, slightly. It does change. Louie's avatar, yes. Joseph Adler, how's it going there? Thomas Holt, greetings to you. Linux Dabbler, hello there. Lemler3, hello. Snap is once again a banana. Bob using Calculate, and it bricked itself after a week. Oh boy. Not relied on as on a daily driver. Hey, you know, this is why I use Linux Mint, because this thing's been running since I built the computer without a hitch. Let's see. Didn't EB live that one down? Yeah. We'll see. Serge will have to help me get this thing going, that's for sure. Gonna attempt to Gentoo install maybe Friday. Why? Why would you do that to yourself? You sadomasochist. The man was EB's retribution at Surge after Brickage. Yeah, drama's great. All right, guys, and also before we jump in, I have received this is the Amazon print-off copy of the new book. So I am hereby declaring this one absolutely ready to go on Amazon. This guy is 220 pages, I believe. I left pages off the last couple pages there. I think it's like 220 pages. Nice and thick, nice little book here. I love that cover. This one is the Amazon printed copy. If you are unaware, in the book world, there's pretty much two groups that print all of the books in the world. Amazon's one of them. The other one is Lightning Source. My Lightning Source book is somewhere in the mail. They print like an hour and a half from here, and then they ship out to New Jersey, fly over the state of Pennsylvania, land in Ohio, and last I saw it, it was in Pittsburgh. So it's books taking a tour all across the world. But anyway, this guy is ready to go. You can have a look at, let's see, actually, I don't, I'd say the website, but I'll go ahead and drop a link in for this one in the case you are interested in this. I'll put the Amazon link there. Just give me a second. Let me grab it. But it is a very nice book. It was about 4 years of research went into it. Soft cover book, and copy link address, and that is in the comments. So if you are interested in having a look at that book, have a look at it, and please, if you pick up a copy, give me a good honest review on Amazon. I am very proud of this work, and hopefully that works out pretty well. Let's see, who else do we have on jumping on right now? On ThinkPad, on another drive. Hit thumbs up, people. All right, thank you guys. Thank you for those thumbs ups. Good, and you don't know, you might want to hit that thumbs down button before it goes away, but nah, we won't go there right now. Ha ha ha. All right. Mint really does just work. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and jump on over to this. We're going to go ahead and start recording, and I'm going to re-roll the intro. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Today we are going to do a quick look at Calculate Linux. This one was recommended to look at. It is a Gentoo installer which had some roots in solving some problems for some big companies, and now there's a few different builds. We're specifically going to look at the desktop version, which is basically meant for personal use. So it does get you a Gentoo install when you are done with it. So let's go ahead and start with looking at their website. So this does come to us from the land over in Russia. So rush on over to get some Calculate Linux. You can come on over down here. They have the most recent version of Calculate was 18.12. They have a few different desktops. They have LXQT. They have Cinnamon. Let's see. Let me find the whole list. Find the whole package list for you so I don't goof it up. All right, so on the desktop Linux, you have KDE, which is the one I'm downloaded and installed. We have Cinnamon, LXQT, Mate, XFCE. There's an XFCE education in the desktop Linux. Now they have the directory server. They have the Linux from scratch. So if you want to do a Gentoo from scratch, you got that one. And then you have a from scratch server as well. So there's a lot of different downloads. These downloads are going to take you to a torrent download file. And the one I downloaded is 2.1 gig with the KDE. You can see the sizes are all listed. As far as documentation, it is, there's sort of documentation, not all that good, but so for example, if here's the information on this, here's what our documentation looks like. Now it looks like there's a ton of stuff, but when you go into install, this is all you get. And so here's the quick installation. This is all you get. There's really not much in here to help you out in your installation process. It still is something that if you have a reasonable knowledge in how Linux works, you won't have an issue installing it. But anyway, it's just kind of something to keep in mind there. And so with this being said, we are going to go ahead and jump on over to a virtual machine where I have this guy installed. Okay, so onto the login screen. Like I said, I downloaded the KDE. It's been a little while since I've been on Plasma. So, and as I was talking with one of the viewers who was recommending this, then he's like, hey, if you like Plasma, this is one of the most stable instances of Plasma. And so let's go ahead and log in, enter my super secret password that is definitely not Calculate. Hit my login button there. And what we have is just a nice clean KDE desktop here. Once we get logged in, it's going to take us just a second here. Okay, so now that we are logged in, we can actually work on the desktop, so that's good. We do have a home folder there to start with. Everything is single click, which is kind of the default to Plasma. You can change that inside of your settings. So this is our Dolphin, and you can go in and to any of your folders over there. Now we have 4 different desktops here on our switcher. We have a show desktop icon. We have a home, which is basically just pulling down your folders. Little redundancy to that, but that's no problem at all. Basic Task Manager, of course, it's all installed on the top. I didn't even know this was here until I accidentally went down to the bottom. If you go to the bottom of the screen, we actually do have a nice pop-out dock as well. Now, this is a curious little thing to me as I first noticed it, is it says Aurora web browser. Now, Aurora is certainly one of the web browsers that you would have installed on a system. They're using the WaterFox logo, and when you click the WaterFox logo, which loads Aurora, it instead runs Firefox nightly. Huh? We got a WaterFox logo labeled Aurora that runs Firefox nightly. Okay. Well, at least we have a functioning web browser. But anyway, that was kind of interesting there. Our basic default menu is our simple menu here. Of course, you can, looks like we actually, oh yeah. Oh, it actually locks widgets by default. That's interesting. Other alternatives installed. We have the application dashboard, the application launcher. Of course, the menu is the one that we have. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and relock widgets for now. I don't want to make any changes to the system quite yet. Here's locking the screen. Here is our leave, and everything else is here. As far as the applications on default, we have a Qt5 designer, graphics. This is curious. We do get GIMP. Like Krita is like the KDE image editor, but oh well, we have GIMP. We have just some basic scanner tools, PDF reader, things like that. Internet, once again, it's not Aurora, it's Firefox Nightly with the WaterFox logo. And then I don't know, is that the Nightly logo? That might be the Nightly logo, come to think of it. Now that I'm recognizing it, I think that is the Nightly logo. It is perilously close to the WaterFox logo. We have IM, we have Kmail, we have Conversation, KTorrent, multimedia. We have Clementine, which is a nice choice. That's a very nice media player. One of my tops. Of course, my favorite media player just for music is still Banshee. Clementine's quite up there though. K-Address Book, Kmail once again. We have our full LibreOffice suite. We have a Calculate console. This is one of the few things that is specific to this distro, as is our update. So click on our update here, and we have the ability to check for updates and install updates. But there's something missing from this, and we will get into that in a moment. I'm going to leave that there so you remember about it. All right. As far as system, everything you'd expect. We have a console. Let me close this. Let's see what we got. Okay, system load. So we're running on 1.2 gigs, which I don't imagine this is taking up a lot. So it is using quite a bit of system resources, more than I would anticipate. And other than that, there's, it's a fairly clean system. There's not a lot in it. It basically just has most of your K apps. It has GIMP, LibreOffice, and really the only things that are custom is the Calculate console and the update system. So the Calculate console, let's see. So updating the system, what this is going to do is it's just a system updater. It's going to check for updates to run. And that's pretty much all it's going to do. Now, what you will find completely missing is a package manager. Discover is not on here. That's the basic default Plasma software manager. We don't have anything to install software. And so what this system actually has on it, and really the only way I can see to install anything, is Emerge. The problem is Emerge doesn't seem to be working. It has not yet emerged. I cannot install anything whatsoever on this system. And what I end up doing is, for a good half hour, it took me a half hour of tinkering with this today, and I still did not find anything that worked. So calculate Linux, install software. We actually have a help page from Calculate about how to do this, which I think is this one here. And nothing on this works. No matter what you do, you get always get the exact same error. It's no e-package built for this. That's it. So as far as everything here is concerned, from what I can see, if I can get software installed on this system, I will give it a try. I'm going to keep this virtual machine around for a few days, maybe a week or so. If somebody wants to give me some tips on how to get anything working on this, I will give it a try. As long as I can install software, then I will put this on my media PC, as one of my viewers has asked me to look into. But following this entire step, everything fails. It always fails. I walked through this step. I think this is one of the same thing. I think I walked through all of these. Let's see. That one doesn't have anything useful to it. I tried this one over here. So of course I did already update. I ran the update just a minute ago. Let's go into our sudo. Let's run this guy and let's do my password. And what you're going to see is it's going to fail out. So it says there's no e-bills to satisfy auto unmask. So this one is supposed to give you the ability to basically install this application, which would be a GUI package manager. I don't care if it's GUI or terminal. I would just like to be able to install something to this distro. So everything that I have seen inside of the documentation, like I said, I walked through this, which is their official guide. Is it actually doing something? Calculating dependencies done. Is it actually installing something this time? It might be. I'm not sure what it's doing. Let's see. I've tried this multiple times. It installed something. Holy crap. It's actually installing stuff. I've tried this multiple times. I have kept on failing on me. Huh. Funny. Maybe I'll use it after all. The problem is, though, is I walked through their original help document and was not able to get anything working. I walked through this guy here. Like I said, I've already done these steps multiple times and I've not been able to get this working. So I don't know. Let's see if this actually installed a GUI package manager. If this works, then sure, I'll give this guy a run. In order to access it, please run it with root privileges. Okay, that's exciting. Let's go back into the terminal then. Okay. So let's see. Kmail kind of sucks. Like Kmail works, but it's not. Let's see. I've never used this application before. I might have to fight with this a little bit. Let's see. Oh, it is actually working. All right. So Kmail is difficult to set up, particularly if you have multiple different desktop or multiple different email addresses. It gets complicated to set up, so I prefer not to use Kmail. On top of that, Evolution does absolutely everything my business mail uses, and so I keep a backup of my entire system on my NAS, and so if I ever need to port it over to a different computer, then I go ahead and do that. So let's see, 9 things need reading for this. All right, well, let's go ahead and let this do its thing for a second and see what else we might have in the system here. Everything else, I think, is just pretty much going to be what I would anticipate a Plasma desktop to be. Theming, I really like the theming, so if I were to run this, I probably wouldn't change the theming at all. Everything else seems good. This is the only thing that I couldn't get running right is this. I could not get Portal working before, but if it's working and it actually does indeed install a package for me, then that's great. We'll run with it. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this do its thing for a few minutes, and we will come back to the video when it is done doing its thing, see if it works. All right, say hello to Clem on my behalf. Can anyone see me? I see you, Unchained. I see you. Just back to book full of game design stuff, specifically game design docs. Gentoo is your first distro. Very good. My left eye has been twitchy for a month or more now. That's not fun. Smash the like button, everyone. Calculate nearly bashed English Bob's sanity. Well, he didn't calculate that. Hello, Joe. Greetings to you. Notice on my... I saw a notice it might be shingles in the eye. Ooh. Shingles in the eye. Possible. Shingles is... I mean, it's possible. Shingles is... it's herpes simplex type 1. Which is a low, it's like a low dormant virus that generally it would pop out if you had a weak or compromised immune system. So that is a distinct possibility, but look into it, yeah. I've never heard of it infecting an eye, but it could. I've used was Debian because the engineering computer labs had Debian. First you installed was Mint. Hey, pizza, pizza. Ever join me saying pizza, pizza? Snowed in Seattle. Does it, when it snows in Seattle, does it close that down? I did see your picture, by the way. I just didn't respond to it. Yes, it was very cool. Very beautiful out there. Do they close school in Seattle when it snows? Oh, no school. All right. He answered. I anticipated that question. Oh boy. Lots of comments. All right. Left my mic at Dad's house. I can't record. That sucks. What's the login manager? I think it's just whatever comes with Plasma. My guess is it is it just gets the login manager, whatever defaults to that desktop. That's my guess. Okay, need to do advising for spring quarter class, but my advisor has laryngitis. Uh-oh. Okay, so back to this guy here. We got some stuff here. So conflicts displayed, unavailable, possible solve problem by using package mask to install. So I can't seem to install the things I need to install on it. So if I wanted evolution, I can't seem to be able to install evolution. Verify it didn't install itself. All right, let me look at Kodi, for example. Let's see what I can get in Kodi. Let's try and merge Kodi. For which DE to use my next Arch install, probably XFCE, can't go wrong with that. It depends what you want. Would Surya comment with a link to this stream? Hopefully he gets it in time. Well, I mean, I'm going to release these. I'm going to release these with edited out, so he'll probably see those. But yeah, you can link to the stream. That's fine. Nightly has the same logo as far as I remember, blue. Yeah, I think now that you mention it, I think that is the Nightly logo. I'm just so used to seeing Firefox logo, which is blue. It does appear to be installing Kodi. Everyone use Chrome, best browser ever. That's right, man. Jumping from Debian stable to Debian testing on the main PC after changing graphics card, did not like it at all. Installing the old standby is Ubuntu. That is the nightly. Thank you. Yeah. Hello, Anna Rita. Anna Rita, if you just jumped on here, haha, it's here, the real book. Audiobooks, yeah, I'm still, I have chapter 1 done and I have part of chapter 2 done. It is taking a long time. It is a long book. It's taking a long time to do the audiobook version of it. I have all the tracks laid down, so that's good news. All right, let's see what we got here. It does, let's see, 9 new items. It does actually seem as though Kodi did install itself. Let's see multimedia. Woohoo, we have Kodi. So there's something wrong with Evolution. Evolution is, let me, should I run that again? I don't know. I mean, for whatever reason, Evolution's not running. And being as that that's the one mail client that I use and have, you know, all of my data backing up to, I really have to get that thing running. We're going to try and build that one more time. Ferret's great too. Maybe put calculate or stock Gentoo on my laptop this evening. There you go. The other one to check out, Ben, if you haven't seen it, is Sabayan. I've actually put Sabayan on my computer before. I liked that one. Sabayan gave me Gentoo that worked. I could install packages. Everything worked out of the box with it. I thought it was a great system. So that's one to look at for sure. It's on the wallpaper, Tom, from the source. Wait. If it does not work, next. Yep. Calculate links, can't calculate a merge, I guess. Yep. Used to more keyboard commands. All right, Ben, the biggest question I have right now is why is Evolution not installing? I'm not saying you have to be root to emerge. Yes. I didn't hear it either. Installation process so raw, it's like driving diesel with a hood wide open. Running calculator on a few machines. Well, good. Can you tell me why this thing's not installing? Yeah, I don't have a problem with nightly build Firefox. I don't care. I just think it's funny that it says Aurora and it's not Aurora. All right. Well, we will see you later, Farron. I don't really, I mean, if it requires me to get help, I'm next. It doesn't fit my channel. My channel is not here to tinker and get stuff to work. My channel is how to use Linux to get stuff done. This entire book was written and produced in Linux. My work is written and done in Linux. My video production, graphic design, everything I do is written and done in Linux. The task of this channel is like how to get stuff done in Linux. If I gotta spend any amount of time screwing around with figuring out how to get whatever working, it ain't worth my time. I'll leave that to the channels that focus on the geeky stuff. That's okay with me, you know? Hey, basketball practice. Well, have fun at basketball. All right, let's see what happens. Okay. Packages and instance have been pulled in a dependency graph, resulting in slot in conflict. So I guess something needs rebuilt. eBuild is masked or unavailable. Master unavailable. Master unavailable. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not sure what just happened to the system there. It went goofy for a second there. Come on. Yeah, I can't get Evolution running, and it's just doesn't seem to want to install itself. So, I mean, I can say if I have to fight with a distro this much to get it running, it's not something I'm probably going to put on my PC. I'm going to go ahead and leave this box here for a week or so. If anybody wants to leave me some thoughts or suggestions in the comments down below, I'll go ahead and do it. If anything requires pouring through documentation, screw it, ain't worth my time. But there's a brief quick look. I mean, really the pros, it looks very nice. It gets us a fairly unbloated KDE. It installs well. And you know, it's fine. The biggest problem is it took me a while to get Portal working, and even with Portal working on here, I still cannot install software that I need. So once we have a distribution that doesn't seem to be working well, and I mean, I didn't read the documentation. I flipped through the documentation. I looked at some basic things. I ran some of the stuff. This channel is not about spending the time to try and figure out how to get this distro working, particularly when there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other distros that work without fighting with it. Why would I bother wasting my time? So it's one of these kind of things. There's a pro, there's a con. If you have to use a system like this, if you love and live in Gentoo, you can get these things resolved. That's cool. But things like use a different package is not a valid choice. I need to use Evolution. I have a good 15 email addresses that get checked, and my Evolution build is portable that I can drop it onto any system. If I can't get Evolution built, it ain't worth my time. So if somebody can let me know how to get that built on the system, if I can get it built on the VirtualBox, I will try and build this on the Media PC as a future build. But if it takes fighting with it, I don't have the time to fight with it. This channel is not dedicated to figuring out how to get things to work that aren't really working. This channel is dedicated about how to get your work done with Linux. And we can do that with Mint. We can do that with Ubuntu. I can do that with Arch. I can do that with Debian, you name it. But on this one here, so far, it looks like it's a no-go. But like I said, I'm going to leave it around for a little while, see if anybody can help us out. And if you can, I'd be more than happy to dig into this, go in further, put it on the system, and give it a full, long, proper review at a later date. So leave me your thoughts and comments. Why is Evolution not installing? Let me know in the comments down below. And I'll have a look at building out the rest of the things that I need, and we'll see where we go with it. So right now, I don't know if I'm going to run it or not. You let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and shut this bad boy down. Package conflict manager didn't calculate the conflicts too well, it seems. Yep. Why are normies fine with that? Because I don't know. Missed the first half hour. Well, we're going to do the install next. Okay. Oh boy, Chromium takes a while to install? Great. Yeah, I probably won't be running it then. It'd take me at least a day to get myself up with Firefox. Pfft. Firefox Nightly has the blue, green, purple, and the tail. It's definitely not. It doesn't. It's just blue. It definitely looks closer to the Waterfox icon. Yeah, I didn't have any problem with Sabayan. I didn't run it a long time, but I didn't have any issue with Sabayan. Yeah, that is not the build. That's not the logo that's there. Problems installing Evolution on my current Mint 19.1 Cinnamon. Uh-oh. I didn't have any problems with that. I know I installed Evolution on 19.1 personally on my dev environment anyway. Hello, AC Override. How's it going there? Okay, might remake Pizza OS with XFCE. There you go. Pizza. Did I run updates? I don't know if I've pushed, like, I don't know if I completely pushed all the updates. That's something to try. I did update, I did run the EIX, whatever it is, to update the repositories. I am not sure if I ran updates. That might certainly be the issue. In fact, should I go ahead and try that before I'm going to go ahead and try that before I kill this thing. I'm going to try running updates and see if that does it. Fighting with it is a lot of what Gentoo is. Yeah, which means it's a waste of time. Okay, I'm going to take 3 minutes to have Firefox running with Waterfox file. All right. Internet Explorer 8 on Windows XP is the best browser. No, Internet Explorer 7 on XP was the best. IE 11 through Wine is the best browser. All right, let me go ahead and run these updates. Calculate Linux. All right, let's run updates and see if that solves it. Hopefully it doesn't take a long time. Hello, John. We are now running updates on this distro to see if that solves my issue that I've been having. I don't know if it will or not. But we'll go ahead and do that, and then we're going to try and install Evolution one more time. Jesse never gets the notifications. Man, that's a bummer. Yeah, I really need to get some like social thing you can follow. Maybe I should jump on the me bandwagon too, right? That way you guys could at least see another update. What are updates on those? Yeah, well hey man, this is Gentoo. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, man. Been a bad day. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, if you just jumped on, the new book, this is the copy from Amazon's printers. The Lightning Source printers is still away, so it's quite a bit thicker. Let me grab the other ones. For size reference, if you saw the other book, this is the old one, the white one's the new one. So it's quite a bit thicker than the other one. I'm very proud of this work. This is about 4 years of research. I mean, I got this massive bibliography in here. It's epic. But the print copies, this one is from the Amazon printer, and I just verified everything works. I got these nice little call-out boxes on the side there. I'm using very nice open source fonts. They're all mentioned in the copyright page, so I do like to give credit, and I use open source software. So on my copyright page of the book, It says, commitment to open source. R. Walk and Christ Publishing uses FOSS software where available. This book was produced with LibreOffice, GNU Image Manipulator Program, Sigil, Calibri, and the following open source fonts: Carousel, Alpha Echo, Stardust Stencil, and Deja Vu Sans. Chapter dividers obtained from Open Clip Art, and the audiobook edition was produced with Audacity and Kid 3. I should probably include GIMP in there too, but that's okay. Once again, if you would like the link to this on the, here is the link to Amazon. And if you want to pick it up from my site directly, if you're in the United States only, and get an autographed copy, it's there. And I actually have a sale going until March 1st. And it's calculating dependencies still. So let's see whether there's anything else to talk about. Okay. Internet Explorer and Microsoft Edge are the best browsers ever for installing better browsers. Yep. Google Chrome with all the anti-privacy options enabled and no extensions. Best browser ever. Yep. I was thinking about Mastodon. Yeah. Maybe in need of an exorcism. Okay. Google Chrome with Google account signed in, all the anti-privacy options enabled, and Windows 10 with full telemetry enabled equals best browser ever. Yep. All right. Well, it just gave me the list. What the? Well, it's going to download a gig of data now. I don't know if we're going to get to the install today, folks. We might do the install later. In fact, I might just do that. I might just run the install as a completely separate video. Because we're getting, I don't know. Hey, we'll see what it looks like. We'll see what it looks like. Let's see. I use my Linux as a tool. The installer, the updater crashed. Let's see if the system reboots. It probably will. Yeah. Updater crashed. It says Houston looks like we are not going to be running this one. Stream started early tonight. Actually, 6 o'clock is the usual time I do the Wednesday one these days. Every now and again it pushes to 7 because of other weird things, but I prefer to do this one at 6. All right, well, since the updater crashed, and I'm not going to run that again, let's go ahead and walk through the installation process now, shall we? So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and get my titles reset, and then we will record an installation process. I got to find where my banners go. Banners, 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 banners. Where are you, Mr. Banner? There you are. Replace. Bink. All right. So now we are going to be looking at an installation. All right. Choose disk image. All right. All right. We're going to go ahead and re-roll the intro again. Welcome back to Switch2Linux. Well, today we're going to spend some time looking at Calculate Linux. This is a Linux distribution that is a installer for Gentoo out of Russia. And it was recommended to look at this as I've been told that it runs Plasma pretty well, and Plasma is one of the desktops that I like. And so I wanted to have a look at it. And I've already installed it and had a look at it, and I'm not overly impressed. with a few things, and you may have already seen that video. I'm not sure which one of these two videos I'm going to release first. Maybe I'll do the installation and then I'll do the other one later. But we are going to walk through the installation process of this guy here today. And so what we're going to do is first is we'll have a quick look at the VirtualBox, and I'm going to be testing this out on a VirtualBox. Like I said, I have installed it, so I've already seen what we're doing. Now, the one thing I needed to do is I needed to give this a much larger disk. I usually keep only 20 or, in fact, yeah, 20 gigabyte hard disks in my VirtualBoxes. Well, Windows is 32 because, yeah, Windows disk hog. But Calculate was even more of a disk hog. It needed at least 35 gigabytes. And so I gave it a new virtual disk, gave it 40 gigabytes. And I'm not sure exactly how much it's using of that, but nevertheless, I put the ISO in the optical drive, and Calculate does have a few different options here. I went with this is of course the Calculate Linux desktop, meaning the desktop for just the basic home user. And there are a variety of different desktop environments. I am running Plasma. There's also Cinnamon, LXQT, I think. XFCE, and there's one more that's escaping me right now. I think it's Mate, maybe. And so what we're going to do is start up the machine, and we are going to get into our installation process. So first it wants us to pick our locality. So I'm going to pick with English and then boot into the live disk. Now it is going to boot right into the live CD, and it is not full screen. I don't necessarily think we need it full screen to run the installer. In fact, I ran it without, so we'll probably just run through it with this. So I'll be back when the distro is loaded. Okay, so we are onto the desktop, and let's just jump on over and let's find our display settings if we can, and just go ahead and make this full screen if that's a possibility. Alrighty. So onto our build over here. Let's just go ahead and run the installer. So of course, this is kind of like your default Plasma. So single click to open things. You can see that it is attempting to run the installer, I think. There it is. So we have a nice installer here. So the first thing is we need to come in and select our locality and our English. I am up in New York time, so I'll go ahead and do that. We do have some advanced options here. I don't remember if I've actually... Okay, keyboard layouts, hardware, clock type, whatever. We don't need to worry about any of those, so we'll just go ahead and skip. If you do have a different keyboard, it does seem to detect my basic keyboard, so that's the case. The installation image, just leave this alone. This is pulling it from the ISO that we are loading from, and we're going to go ahead and click our next. Now this one here, we have the option to use current partitions or to erase the disk and install Calculate. Hopefully this does a good job of erasing. I did not actually have to mess with any of this stuff to get the installation working on a blank new disk. I'm not sure what the result is going to be over on on this one here. The only error it threw is when it was too small. So this here, this is what it's proposing. And so we have a home, so it looks like it is giving us maybe a, no, it doesn't actually look like it's separate partition for that. So everything looks good there. And migrate network settings. So migrate network settings is going to take whatever the network settings that were automatically detected and move those over. Otherwise, I can manually configure it. The reasons you might manually configure it is if you're installing this, but you are installing it and you're going to be putting it somewhere else, you might need to manually configure it. But in this case here, we don't, since we're just doing this on the same exact machine. So let's click next. All right, so now we have the root passwords, and this is where we got this is kind of where we got a little bit of goofiness going in, where you're going to want to make some changes. So first we have our root password. I'm going to go ahead and use calculate. Oh, I'm not supposed to tell you my password, am I? It's super secure. Now, the first thing that kind of threw me for a loop the first time is it only shows like 3 characters here. So I'm like, did it not enter the password right? It does. Don't worry, it does. It only shows you those 3 characters. Maybe that's a security feature so someone can't see how many characters are in your password, just to indicate that, yes, something is there. It is the correct thing. It is not going to cut down to 3 characters. Now, the other thing it does is it gives you 1 guest user with full access. What? I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. I don't need the guest. We are going to create a new user. I'm going to call him calculate. We can do system update, or we can do full access. I'm going to give him full access. Now, it by default does not assign groups. And that's going to be one of the things that you are going to want to assign. So I'm going to go through and put in some of the basic groups that you would encounter in a system here. No, this way. Okay, I'm looking for LP admin, and then we need I don't see my Samba share, so hopefully that doesn't interfere with our network. So these are basic ones. So sudo is going to allow us to be able to make administration changes to the system. That's kind of the most important one, and the other ones were related to some other things. Now, do calculate and calculate. Apparently oh man, I told you my password again. That's not good. All right, so now we have 1 user. If you want to add any other users, you can do that. And I kind of like this thing that it gives you the ability to add extra users. This is actually the first installation system that allowed me to create multiple different users. Here you can select auto logins, guests, anything like that, which we don't really need to work with that. You can select your audio. I mean, do you want the ALSA, or do you want to just, go and, we're not going to use that word for pulse audio. It doesn't matter. Pick whichever one you want to fight with the most. I mean, this is Gentoo, so you definitely want to pick pulse audio so you have the biggest fight possible on your hands. I mean, really. Video driver, you can pick the type of video driver. So why might you pick something different? Well, if you're installing this without your video card and then you want to add your video card, you can do that. I do have a Radeon in this. I'm just going to do auto detect, though. It seemed to work for me. And then screen resolution, I'm going to go ahead and set that. Now, why do you set all these things and you don't generally see these in other distros? Well, one of the main things about Gentoo is that it kind of installs like Windows does, where it only installs the things that you need to run the system. So it's good in that it streamlines the system down. You don't have excess code. It's bad in that it is no longer a portable Linux like most other Linux distros are. If I take nearly any other Linux distro and I install it on one computer, I can take that disk out, put it on any other hardware, and it will boot just fine under most circumstances. Maybe some tweaks here and there, particularly if you have a custom driver installed or something, you're going to have to mess with that. Gentoo does not do that. Now, it is a major advantage, which is why Chromebooks run Gentoo, is because it's very specific to the hardware. The downside is if the computer crashes and burns any other system, I can literally pull out the disk, replace the hardware, put the disk back in, go, and not think twice about it. With this, I'd have to make a lot of adjustments to the disk, or maybe wipe the thing and rebuild it. All right, so this screen here, we can automatically check for updates or disable that. I love that option to turn that off. Then we can check daily, 24 hours, every 6 hours, etc. Once again, turning that off should probably get rid of that. We can automatically clean obsolete programs, update overlays. Go ahead and do that. And then we have a system install. So we can view all of the options that we selected here and then run the install. So that's really it. The only screen that really should give you any real issues is our screen for our screen for running our users. That one is a little bit weird and a little bit unintuitive with the with showing you only 3 dots there for the password. That did throw me a loop for the first time. And then secondly is the ability to add the users. You want to just clear out the guest one if you don't need that, and then add whatever users. And you can then pick and add the groups as you go, which is a really neat feature. So as far as the update or the installation process, excuse me, I really like the system. It installs very nicely. And then when this is done doing its installation thing, then it's going to be a very nice system. It's going to work out of the box. And Gentoo, as long as you can get it working, sometimes can be pretty stable. Now, some people have said that many Gentoo installs an update could break it, and that's, I don't know for sure. I haven't run it long enough on any particular distro that I've tried. Now, the only one that I have used for any slight length of time would have been SwitchedtoLinux, which even that I didn't run for long. But I liked it. So I want to go ahead and give this a try, just see how it looks. And there is one issue that I cannot seem to get resolved, and that is I can't get several packages installed. I wanted to run some updates, but the updater crashed. So what we're going to do here is when this guy is done with the installation process, then we're going to reboot it, and we're going to look at the brief updates, so that you should always, anytime you're running a distro, go ahead and get all of the updates on the system before you really do anything else, and then you'll be set to go. And then hopefully that resolves the issue I was having, but never know. So we'll go ahead and come back to the video when this is done doing its install-y thing. All right, back to all y'all. Kids with their hair combed, wearing $300 shoes, drive current year sport cars, have the latest iPhones, and use Windows 10 with Google Chrome. That's a normie. Yep. Calculate Linux is looking like the next more and more like Windows. Yeah. Calculinux does nothing but calculate if something is compatible or not. Yeah, it calculates. And then it's like, nope. Give me info? No. Make an Arch install script generator. Sure, why not? In Q1 Fiend's defense, I did start, I think, the last 2 Wednesday streams at 7 due to other conflicts earlier in the day, but I do prefer 6, yeah. Only other tool is the user, sadly. Yep. Yeah, Chrome, never use tools. Deploy the parachutes for emergency landings. All right. The Gentoo parachutes. Content creators switch from live chat to video making mode. Yeah. Phone died. Back on the laptop. All right. All right. Well, it says it's successfully installed. So let's jump back over here. All right. So it says it says installed. It says, would you like to reboot your computer now to complete the installation? So we have yes, no, and break the process. I don't want to break anything. Let's just say no. I'm going to close this. Yeah, sure. Close, please. Thank you. All right, now we'll go ahead and shut this guy down. And I don't know why, like, Ubuntu is the only distro I know of that has the foresight to remove the ISO before install. The installers all ask, would you like to reboot the system now? Yes, and it doesn't kick the drive out. And so Ubuntu at least has the foresight to kick the drive. So there we go. Now it's kicked. Now we will boot back into it, and then this will be our calculate on the disk on the virtual machine. You can start already, distro, please. All right, so here we are on our login screen here. So let's go ahead and log in with my username. That is definitely not calculate. I think I typed that right. I might have typed it wrong. Yeah, I typed it wrong. All right. So here we are. We have Easy Linux from the source. All right, so here we are on our desktop. So we are ready to go. So our basic desktop here, we have a panel down here that auto hides. I think there's more things over here too, right? Yeah, no, oh, that's a terminal. It looks like a more. Nope, it's a terminal. All right. So to run our system updates, we're going to come on down here into settings and calculate Linux update. This is going to be our updater tool, and we're going to have the option here to run our updates. And so we want to run this first. Let's see, search for the most appropriate update server. Yes, that's going to find a local mirror if applicable. Click our run, and it's gonna take a little bit of time to get this guy running. So be patient. It's probably going to need to download a lot of data depending on when the package was last refreshed. So we're going to give this a little bit of time and see what happens. Alrighty, if I'm playing games, typical, yeah. I can't load it and start using it in production. What's the point? Yeah, that's it. That's it. I mean, I guess that's kind of the difference, right? Between different Linux channels, there are a lot of absolutely great and wonderful Linux channels, and we need those channels to take a system like this and work through the problems and show us how to get stuff working. We need those channels. And we got some. And we got people that are so much more knowledgeable in Linux than I am. That's why I let those guys do those. What my focus is how do you use Linux to get work done? Because what's more important? How to do a tutorial to get somebody who barely knows how to use a computer working on Gentoo, or to show somebody who can barely use a computer that you can use Linux for real production work. In a world that is focused on getting real work done, it's important that we focus instead on let's find the Linux distros that work, that we don't have to fight with a lot, and let's get stuff working. That's the important part. And so I guess we'll do that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I should just do a whole nother thing. Let's see. Update server was changed to Codus.net. All right. Fixing the settings, updating packages. See what happens. All right. Watch some calculate break before Tom's eyes. Yeah. Calculate the insanity. Calculate how much hair will I have at the end of this. Binary with purple while source package is green. Okay. Like the removable media, and you gotta press enter before rebooting. If your BIOS is set to boot USB, it saves headaches. Yeah. It's calculating dependencies. Calculate is calculating again, guys. This is not a good sign. Yes, the OS is very pretty. I do like the way it looks. That awful gradient on update the system is pretty horrid. I mean, look at that thing. Look at that gradient. But it's good otherwise. All right. Still calculating. It's calculating. It's a very calculating distro. I got to say that for sure. It's a very calculating distro. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So if you just jumped on, our numbers are going up and down. If you just jumped on, we have just run the install on Calculate Linux. I'm running updates right now. I'm going to see if that fixes any of the issues, and then we'll probably wrap this one up here. I don't know. Should I try and go back through and let's go ahead and go back through and look for the get that portal installed. Go ahead and get that prepped here. And then we'll see if we can do that. It's still calculating dependencies. We don't have no supercomputer here, yo. Writing is Sabayan, USB now. Yeah, if you want Gentoo, I mean, I prefer Sabayan. It works out of the box. It has a package manager. And frankly, it's, you know, it gets you just about the same thing. Close enough to the same thing. It's calculating patience. Yes. Mugen is going AFK. I should be going AFK too. A glass of water or something. Whoa, it's doing stuff. All right, now it wants us to download about a gig of data. Let's go ahead and run this. And then hopefully it doesn't crash again. If it crashes again, then this is a no bueno because I can't update it. Does NASA use it? Actually, I mean, the space station runs Debian. I mean, come on. You got to use Debian. Then you can say, what's this computer? Oh, this is the same thing they run on the space station. And then, you know, just do it just like that. And then everyone's just going to think you're a rocket scientist. So, you know. Yeah, we are downloading a gig of data. What's the Ackerman function? Not familiar with that one. I'm not sure I want to do anything with it while it's trying to install updates, though. I mean, thing already crashed on me once. I don't really want to crash and burn again. I mean, what is this? An autonomous car? Updates worse than on Windows. Yeah. This might take a while. It's not crashing yet. Oh, it's downloading and installing Groovy Little Assembler. Well, that's groovy. Groovy. You know, a slight concern I have is that this package is fairly new. I mean, I think it's December, and it has a gig of updates. That's crazy. Don't show the picture of a fire truck. Stick with it? Why? If it crashes the updater again, I ain't sticking with it. Because there's like hundreds and hundreds of other distros. Like, we got too many Linux distros. You know? It is currently installing package 23 of 257. We might end the live stream and come back and finish recording this later. Quite honestly, because holy moly. Package 23 is called Another Cute Console Display Library. How cute. Keeps installing stuff, but it's not progressing the package number that it's updating. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, it's going crazy. That's Another Cute Console Display Library. Yep. Go, Gentoo. Go, Gentoo. Go. Oh, boy. Groovy assembly straight from the 80s. Groovy, man. Or the 60s. 8 or 9 Mountain. Hope to be back home then. See ya. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. What's concerned? It's like the... I guess all of these are little things needed for the console display library. Ooh, it's up to 30 now. Let's see, what's it installing now? Oh, translations for LibreOffice Suite. Can we just dump that? I don't exactly need 100 languages that I don't speak in LibreOffice. Nope, we're stuck. Dash dash keep going equals yes. Whoa boy. Gentoo, the walk of hell. Boom, boom, boom. Is it pulling packages from the moon? Probably. Or from Russia. I mean, hey, in its defense, we are live streaming this in, you know, in HD, and it is downloading a gig of data. So why, though, we need to install hundreds of languages for LibreOffice is another point. Well... Well, would you guys like to hear my initial thoughts on LaTeX? Let me know, yes or no. Initial thoughts on LaTeX in the comments there. Peppermint always pushes a ton of upgrades regularly too. Maybe not a gig, but quite a few. Like, let's see. Arch is asking for some right now. Let's see what Arch wants. Arch wants an update to Flatpak. Can I just uninstall Flatpak? I mean, that'd be better. Go, Gentoo, go, Gentoo, go. Yeah, I'm channeling Vanilla Ice for a second. Yes. Go, Ninja, go, Ninja, go. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right. LA Tech, mean college? LaTeX, yeah. I still need to figure out the correct pronunciation. Some people say latex, some people say latex, some people say LaTeX. I haven't determined exactly what is the thoughts on that. So overall, let's see. Can I keep this going over here? Dude, stop. What are you doing? No, go away. All right. So I have the LaTeX stuff going over here on Knoppix. So hopefully running Knoppix is not going to mess everything up, but we'll see what happens here. Overall, if you are doing
initiating startup sequence.
Yeah, thank you, creepy Knoppix. We appreciate you starting the sequence. But anyway, yeah, Luke Smith says LaTeX. Other people say LaTeX. Other people latex. So I don't know. I'll have to look it up. So the idea behind it is that you can... It's a markup language for doing books. I think that if someone's like, hey, I wrote a book and I want to format the book, I'm going to tell you, use LibreOffice. Use LibreOffice all the way. Because with LibreOffice, everything is easy to do. Having never formatted a book before, I was actually able to make some logical guesses, do a little bit of research, and I formatted this book. Now, this is my first book when I reformatted it. And this is actually the reformatted edition. I think I have all of the fonts installed on on my system here. So on LibreOffice, you know, I can basically set page styles. Now the thing is that if you don't know how to write and format a document, neither one's really going to work for you. You really have to know how to format things. So of course I have basic default styles. I have bridges. I think some of these are default styles. Then you have chapter styles here. So you'll see the styles over here on the side. These are chapter pages. And then chapter pages go right into left, which always go right into right unless you put in a break. So the most difficult parts on LibreOffice formatting a book. One of these is setting up these little sidebars. These can actually be a royal pain. Now, you can lay them over, like I could have done a separate images for these, or I can do like I did here, where I have a quote and then I write text over it on the sidebars. The other thing that is difficult is a lot of people struggle with how to get your bibliography in here. All these blank pages will actually disappear when the document's kind of done processing. So like how to put your endnotes at the end of the document, how to put in an index at the end of the document. All of these are things that people struggle with, which have to do with sectioning, creating separate sections. But as far as everything else, putting in your book title on the one side, putting in your chapter title on the other side of the book is all extraordinarily easy. Like it's basically your headers and such are attached to left and right pages. So doing things in LibreOffice is very easy. Now the challenge is that it can be cumbersome. It can be cumbersome. It doesn't have to be. And the worse off you are at it, like if you don't know how to format a document, it's going to be a painful moment. The first time I did a document, it took me a lot longer. Second time I did a document, I started to figure it out. By the time I got to I Am Not Amused, this book, man, I had the formatting done in that thing in just a couple of sitting sessions. I did some basics. I printed out a few pages. I looked at the things. I said, what types of things would I like to tweak? I went through, I tweaked things because I know how to format a document correctly going into it. LaTeX is kind of much the same way. So we'll go ahead and open this guy up. And I'm using TextMaker over here with the system. So with LaTeX, the idea is that you will create everything out with a bunch of markup. And so like this line here on my markup is telling me what is the size of my paper and what are the sizes of my margins. Because I'm using a two-side and book at the top of my document class, the two-side and the book are telling me that it's going to use a traditional book format, meaning that when you actually print a book, if you actually look at this here, you'll notice here on the right page that there is more margin on the one side than there is on the other side. So this one's a left page. There's more margin on the right. And on the right one, there's more margin on the left. So if I actually zoom in on the document and bridge the gap, you'll be able to see that gap in there. It's slight, but it's there. The reason is when you are printing a book is you need what is called the gutter margin. The gutter margin is where your binding is printed. And you need to save about an extra, depending on the size of the book, you need to leave about an extra quarter or so inch. And so the margins change. So doing two-side book automatically does that, particularly when you match your geometry thing, which is going to use, instead of saying left margin, right margin, you're going to say inner margin, outer margin, and that's going to allow you to create your difference. So my task with doing LaTeX is to reformat my book Testing and Temptations and get it as close as I possibly can to the LibreOffice, and then with that document going, jump on over and look at the, I want to then jump on over and look at the, how duplicatable is it? In other words, my estimation is that once I get this done once right, I will simply be able to keep dropping text into it with very minimal updates, which means it's going to push a whole lot faster, even quicker than that. But there are some major issues that I'm going to have to overcome. There's a lot of stuff in the header. You call this up here, you call this the preamble. I have to define my certain fonts. And then things have to be in a certain order. So I need to define my certain fonts before I define my page headers and things like this. And then I had to figure out how to do things like have different section headers, having different headers and footers. And so this is what the markup of the book looks like. And then what that actually looks like when it's done is it's going to load up and print out to a PDF that is going to look like this. So this part here is pretty close to exactly what we have. I had to fight the table of contents to get this working right, but we got it. Here's my introduction. And then we have the blank page. A lot of books, you will have a blank left page. If the chapter is always going to start on a right page, which is an odd page number. The chapters are always going to start that way. And so this format allows you to do that. One of the things I had to fight with is how to get this to not skip a page on my non-numbered chapters. It was a fight, but now that I know how to do it, I never have to learn how to do it again. So now coming into this, we do need to make some changes for this. Actually, I think I need to throw my scripture verse up there as well, don't I? I'm lacking, yeah, the scripture verse is right here, which I need to format that yet. But now actually I have the formatting exactly the way that I want. There's no header on the first chapter page. I have my text over where I need it to be. This guy here is offset slightly from the rest of my text. And then my page number is in line with the rest of the text. So this is all exactly formatted the way it should be. I haven't formatted this yet. I haven't tried. We'll get to that. That should be fairly easy. It's just a different font I need installed. So overall, I need to format these bullet points. And I think that chapter is going to be done. So basically, you simply do markup like this, which is going to give us our sections, our subsections. These are our quotes. And so you'd kind of do your markup. The verdict is still out for me. I don't know if this is necessarily going to be a good, viable solution. It's like to me, I think that it will work, but I don't really think it's as good as an option as LibreOffice is for most things. It's just the portability of Office and stuff like that. Thank you, Creepy Nopix. We appreciate you being creepy. So that's kind of my early thoughts. My early assessment is, what can we do with it? Oh boy. I gotta get logged back into Calculate. Oh, hey, it's about halfway done. It's on 138. So that's kind of my thoughts on LaTeX. Okay, open service isn't any better. Installed like lightning, but took forever, kind of. Yep. OpenSUSE, you mean? Okay, yep. Miss Quids knows a lot about it. All right. Never seen Knoppix. Yeah, the reason I use Knoppix is it is one of the only platforms that out of the box it has everything you need to run LaTeX with. So it made the perfect testing environment to run Knoppix. That way I didn't have to fight with installing it to find out that it sucks. I didn't want to use it and all that kind of stuff. Which, that verdict's not out. That was just, the thought process. So by installing Knoppix onto a drive on my virtual disk, I can experiment with it. And if it's a viable thing, then I'm going to go ahead and run it and install on my writing computer. Okay, first CD boot Linux distro. I think it was. It might have been. Gonna have to go. All right, man. We will see you later. Vim LaTeX Master Race. There you go, yeah. Yeah, LaTeX is phenomenal for mathematical notation. That's probably, it seems to me like it's absolutely awesome for scientific literature. But the thing is that the default output is so scientific, it's not how you write a book for the population. You know, hey, it's, and you know, you look also, there's like Mark D, I think, Mark something, which is another scripting language. It's like, oh, look at all the books made for it. Yeah, they're all geeky academic computer science books. All right. The rest of the world doesn't want to read a book formatted in geeky science. But if you get it working right, it might work. The next concern I have is, does the output file meet the requirements of the printers? And that's a huge concern. LibreOffice does perfectly. So I don't know. It is still calculating. Yes, it is. We might just have to end the stream, and I might just have to wrap up the rest of the video later, honestly. In uni, all our reports had to be presented LaTeX for a few final reviews. Everyone used Office to write everything, then ported it to LaTeX. Yep. When I did my dissertation, our dissertations, we didn't use LaTeX for that. We used, we should have used LaTeX. We used a macro package for Microsoft Word. Thing killed the spelling checker. I didn't realize it. My dissertation is printed with several spelling errors that I was anticipating finding, but the macro package broke the spell checker. Exciting. Back in the day, we used Knopic to get the SAM file off XP machines. Yep. You want a browser that has no Google services? Try ungoogled Chromium. Yeah, it seems like if you get it running, it seems like it'll work. I just don't know. The verdict's still out for me. I just don't know for sure if it's it's going to boil down to this. How quickly, how easily can I do basic formatting? One of the major challenges is there is no way to automate the indexes. And people ask about it like, well, that would just create too much of a mess. Not really. LibreOffice automates my indexes. When I do my Bible indexes on these things, these are done with an index file. I created the file once, I feed it into LibreOffice, and it creates an index for me. I have to tweak it a little bit at the end, and that's another thing that with LaTeX, you cannot tweak that output. You absolutely cannot. On LibreOffice, I can tell it to build the index, and there's a setting to either lock it or allow it to be edited. So the script that I have that builds my scripture index, it'll go through my entire document and give me at the very end a very beautiful scripture index. It always outputs with some errors because it either wants to alphabetize things. You can't tell it what order to do things in. And so you need to set it to go in and edit it. And so that's what I do. I go in and it actually, the screen, oh, look at this. The screen locker is broken. Unlocking is not possible anymore. In order to unlock the screen, switch to a virtual terminal. By the way, I can't switch to a virtual terminal, I don't think, because that's going to mess up the stream. Oh, Lordy. Screw you, Calculate. You're done. I need to go up and wrap up that final video, though. All right, well, partway through running the updates, after about a half an hour of trying to run the updates on that, the entire system crashed out again. So I'm just going to look at this and say, if you can get Calculate running, you have fun with it. I'm not going to try and run it on my system. It keeps failing on all of the builds that I'm trying to do. So unfortunately, that's kind of the case. I'm not going to try and run it at this point. Just too many issues, too many problems. And this channel's not dedicated to solving those problems. This channel's dedicated to showing you how you can get real work done in Linux. So that's kind of my thought. The installation works fine. I think if I kept the mouse alive or whatever else, if I didn't let it go into a system suspend mode, it might have worked. I don't know, but 2 out of 2 times I tried running the installer crashed on, or the updater crashed on me. So that's kind of my take. Calculate Linux. Sure, give it a try. See if you can get it to work. If you can, that's great. It might be a great system. For me, there's just too many barriers, and there's too many other Linux distros that actually work. So I'm not really going to be fighting with it to get it running. But that's my initial thoughts. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Alrighty. Pretty cool, the functions you've created for indexes. You haven't... Oh yes, I have an out. Toss is live. That's right, Toss is going live. Somebody grab Toss's link. Toss it in the stream there. I'm gonna try one more time to run the updater. I'm gonna see if it completely killed itself, or if it will actually allow me to just install the packages that aren't working right. We're gonna give it one more shot, but I'm not bothering with the videos anymore. We'll see what happens. Yep. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead. Where's a cat? Cat. Oh, there he is. Don't go yet, guys. We have a kitty to feed. Come on, buddy. Come on up. You should know the drill by now. You got to jump up. Come on. No, you have to jump. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Come on. Come on. What are you doing? Using the force? Come on. Come on, kitty. Come on up. There you go. Good boy. All right. Now you want to stick your head in there for us? Okay. There you go, buddy. Right here. Right here. You got to get it figured out. Oh, right here. Did you get one? Is it? Oh, right here. And let's do one for this camera over here. Right here. Bonus. I think something fell down here too. Here you go, buddy. Yeah, is that good? Oh, there it is. Right there. Good boy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very sad to say, but Calculate is completely crashed and burned. It is completely dead. I'm getting a blinking cursor. Sorry, Calculate. Not worth my time. All right, guys. Toss is live. I think we got the link in there. So jump on over to Toss's stream, and then what you're going to do is you're going to post STL Raid. So STL Raid on Toss's stream. So thanks for coming along, guys. And I'll have these videos edited up here. And so I'll do one or both of them here soon. And we will run from there. So thanks for coming along. And I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.